right, great. So welcome. It is March 19th, 2018, 1:34. We're here for the policy committee meeting. Just moved up a week since we have spring break next week. Dr. Wheeler may be joining us late. She had another meeting. Dr. Levinowitz is not coming due to a death in the family. So we are here and ready to go. Are there any announcements, communications today? Nope, great. We have minutes from the February meeting. If there's any changes to those minutes, get them to Brenda. Or not Brenda, Brooke. Said Brenda's name. That's bad. All right. Get them to Brooke and we'll make those changes. So we can start right with the second reading. We had a number of policies at the last legislative meeting that went for first reading. And so we have some of those back here again. We have policy 144, policy 202. Now, we haven't talked about the AR for 144 yet, so we'll do that in a moment. But these other regulations with the policies we did discuss at the last meeting. So unless anyone has some changes from last meeting, we don't need to discuss them again.
I apologize, but I do.
I was at the last meeting, so I can say that.
All right.
I'm still pulling them up.
So just for the ARs, is that what we're talking about?
No, I have one on policy 202.
Okay, so so I just want to say, so 239, 708, so what we can say we're done with, so we can put for second reading and adoption, 144, just the policy 239, and 708. And we want to talk about the AR policy. Well, why don't we start with policy 202 then?
202. Thank you.
You said you had some changes to that one.
202, yes. So under guidelines, I'm just pulling it up, and I apologize. In the new green area under guidelines,
Yes.
it says, the district will provide transportation to non-resident students only to the extent required by law. That reads to me as too strong. It makes it sound like we're in violation if we don't kick them off the bus. Is that what we want it to say?
Yeah, we're
Under guidelines, toward the bottom. You don't?
Other guidelines.
Other
After all the-
guidelines.
After all the classes.
Okay, got it.
Yeah, the first screens.
No, I mean, I guess I read that we're going to provide transportation to non-students only when we have to by law.
Yeah, that's not what it actually says.
Only to the extent.
required by law. Meaning
Right.
we won't go beyond the extent
Right.
required by law.
Yes.
And if we do, we are in violation of this policy. We don't kick them off the bus.
There's a consequence to that. We're not following the strict language of the
Yeah.
policy. I think the violation of the policy is a little strong.
Okay.
But there's no consequence to us doing it. If we let somebody on the bus that who was and make us do it, there's no.
But then that,
I mean,
but
we
then
are
that
obligated
legislature
to
provide
provide
transportation.
But there's
I
no
mean,
word
I
you could put in
disagree.
to ensure that.
No.
You could say, the district reserves the right, but then you're still going to accuse it of being arbitrary.
Right.
You want,
Okay.
the reason,
Yeah.
We can leave it at
well, just to beat this to death, you want that in there because somebody's going to say, I want transportation, and you say, we don't do that, it's only to the extent required by law.
Right.
Well, can't you cut me, if it just said that the board reserves the right to do it, then they're going to say, well, you have the discretion to do it.
All right.
What you always do.
All right, second one, right under that,
Yeah.
the board authorizes. This seems redundant with the third paragraph under authority.
Lack of authority.
Board reserves the right to verify, and then we say the board authorizes the administration to investigate. That's actually,
Not
this is,
exactly the same, but it's-
no, this is intended to implement the other one. I think you can take out the other one. I think the one in there at the end is better than the one at the beginning.
All right.
And where does it belong? At the bottom or at the top? Is it a guideline or is it a statement of authority?
I don't think it makes any difference. So I would just X out the third, fourth paragraph under authority.
Yeah.
Reserves a right to verify claims of residency, that one.
I don't know what that footnote,
The footnote is,
yeah, you can take that out too.
yeah,
We don't need that footnote.
Okay.
All right, and then my last more of a question than a comment. In all of the classes, there's a mix of the use of student and child, and I'm wondering if those are formally defined terms, and if that's, yeah, Brett, that was yours.
Yeah, the legislative meeting that I pointed out, just in terms of corrections. I don't think there is when reading it.
Yeah.
Maybe Ken can give some counsel on that, but
I
It
can't
does seem
think,
like
for
there was-
purposes of this policy, why we would use the word child, students, the correct
We're
word.
talking about their family.
We're not sure what you're talking about. Which,
The first time I say
It's all over
dependent
the
children.
place.
yeah, it's not like there's half the use was student and half was
Yeah,
children.
I know.
So I just want to uniform the policy in some way, shape, or form.
okay, I don't see it in class one.
I only see it in 6.
I don't see it
Let
in.
me search.
I see it in 2. So from the
Two
beginning, I see
has-
class
Yeah, it says
2.
school children, which is.
Residents in this class shall be entitled to free school and duties according to resident school children of the district.
I think that's fine.
Where's the next, where's it?
6, I said child.
I don't see
I
it.
see it in 4. I see children, but that's.
Where?
So it's under purpose.
But if it's a family, that is your child, it's not your student. It's like
Student,
a joint
right.
parent, it's not your student, it's your child.
But in the first line, I think that's the,
Yeah, it's in the very first line.
But that's what needs to be there, because they're, they're not
Okay.
students, they're not.
Well, that's, right, that's what I was asking. I mean,
Yeah.
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 And then in class 2, it shows up twice.
Yeah,
In class
Okay,
4,
okay,
it shows up.
okay, take these one at a time.
All right, sorry.
All right, so
Dependent
that's-
children is a term of art.
Right.
It means somebody that the court system has
Right,
adjudicated as.
yeah, if there's a reason
It's
for
a term
that.
to be dependent children. Students shall be entitled to go according to resident school children. Should be school-aged children.
School-aged, yeah.
All right, what's the next one?
Next appearance is the first paragraph of class 4.
yep,
It's the first sentence under bullet 1.
Desire to have their
Oh,
children.
That's right, yeah.
Will be their student.
Okay, class 5, homeless students and federal law, oh, sorry, that's class 5, never mind. Class 6, it appears in the first paragraph twice.
resident of institutions.
Yeah, but they're not,
They're not
they're
students.
not, they're not calling them students yet. At this point, they're child who theoretically could become students. But they're not, child
Right.
is not synonymous with student there.
And then everything else is crossed out.
I mean, we could say school-age child there. But
The first is
yeah. All right, so, you get all that?
Mhm.
We took out, you guys could scroll up. Exactly.
Yep, sorry, hyphenating them.
Right, so we took out the 4th paragraph under authority.
At the top.
Yeah, near the top. Yeah, okay, yes.
Yep,
Then you changed, class 2, you changed it to school age.
yep,
Yep. You want to put an apostrophe there.
yep.
Before I would know.
First-
And you did the other one. Okay.
That's not substantive, so can't that still go forward for a
Yeah.
second reading and adoption?
These are something, these are just correcting and replacing duplicated language and stuff, so.
Did you have something else on this?
Not on 202, actually.
All right. 202 is good for second reading and adoption. So 207,
I'm good with 207.
Second reading for that.
Second reading for 207.
yeah, I think Mark, you have changes to the AR for 207?
No,
No?
I'm good on 207.
All right, so we're good for the AR and the policy. All right, 211?
I'm good on 211.
Robert doesn't seem sure.
Yeah, sorry, I'm just
Oh, you
noting
tell
about
me.
stuff.
Yeah. You tell me what you,
So under
We under the policy.
20, the AR 207.
all right, AR.
So I'm wondering where we're specifying specific offices within the administration. Don't we want to just simply say all district personnel? That's the first one that I had. So
Which
we
page
list-
are we on?
Where are you?
Right under district personnel, the recipients of, and then we cite like counselors, mental health specialists, et
Oh,
cetera.
include but are not limited.
Yeah, but I think we're really asking all district personnel, no matter what the qualification. Am I correct?
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
what we
if it-
want, right?
well, it says that, yeah, it says may include but not limited to, I guess.
That's just tends to
We
be
just-
people who.
who normally-
Yeah, I understand, but when we, in the R, we're trying to get to the fact that all district personnel are under this guideline, right? It's not, I understand that they're gonna be kind of.
Would you want to strengthen it? The recipients of all confidential information from students include all district personnel, but are typically.
Including-
Yeah, something that
Yeah.
lines, because I think
Yeah.
what we're really trying, the AR is supposed to govern all the personnel.
Well, it does. I mean, it says may include but not limited to. So it does include all the personnel, but you're saying that we want it to be, right, make sure.
I want to make sure it's worded so that the understanding is that all personnel are under this.
Well, number B is where it says what to do.
Okay.
All district personnel shall follow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, the question is whether you need A or not. If you want to reinforce the idea that this can be, that these tend to be this group of people, so that those people particularly sit up and take notice, if you don't need to do that, then I would just take A out.
Yeah, I mean, it actually, I mean, it's a may, it's effectively, in terms of, language, meaningless, but,
Yeah.
but you're right, it may just sort of raise awareness that these people need to pay special attention.
I just
But
think
do you
that-
think,
Yeah, I was going to
do
say-
people, like, how do you think?
Most
yeah.
folks go to the counselor, and the
Yeah.
counselor helps facilitate the report. So if there's a report to children and youth, I'm, almost 95% sure the counselor's involved or knows about it. And then, so with the building
Take it up.
administrator.
How about this?
Yeah.
This procedure applies to all district personnel, not just school.
Oh, there you go.
That way, everybody,
Where am I? It's gonna be an A.
So just start here.
Include or not.
Yes.
B says, you could, in essence, what you're just saying is just get rid of A.
This is the AR.
No.
No, we don't get rid of A. So
I'm serious
the,
about
So you were serious? I was
yeah.
You're trying to explicitly,
Yeah.
trying
Yeah,
to
I would
preserve
say
that
this-
you're specifically
this
naming
this
these roles,
policy
so
and
that people who are in
regulation-
these roles, to use
Applies
your
to
word,
all
typically
district
say,
They
personnel.
should take notice, but everybody
Yeah.
else.
Should I put that under guideline,
Put it under A. I would put
It
it,
would just say.
Slap it
You're
on
right.
the end
I would put it
up.
as A. We're gonna change it. We're changing A to,
That's okay, but if you, that's,
Yes.
yeah, policy and regulation.
I thought that was a good.
Ken was proud of himself.
Okay.
What?
We didn't record it on, we don't have it that recorded. You have to reword yourself.
What did you say? What did, no, I was trying to, I thought you said
So we're gonna
this.
put it in or not?
Yeah, I think
Yeah, that's what we're gonna do. So it should be this policy administrative regulation applies to all district personnel.
Not just to the school counselors. That's
Yeah.
fine.
No,
We should
okay.
need to kind of move that up and.
Right, we'll cut that out and then put it up kind of.
leave the other offices in place.
Yeah.
For personnel.
Not just to school counselors, mental specialists,
Replace this?
Yeah.
etc. Yeah.
This policy.
Yep.
Just to,
TH there, but.
Whoops.
there you go. Okay.
So my next one is,
That-
Comma after personnel.
my next one is more grammatical. Anyhow, under guidelines, under A, we write it is okay. So.
It is okay. Well, I think that's the,
Wrong, that, we spelled it wrong.
But yeah,
Acceptable.
so I think, then C, we have it as well, it is not okay. So if we could just shorten that.
It is
language.
acceptable?
Acceptable, we should take out.
I just laughed at it, so.
it is okay.
So the normal, in my policy world, I don't know if this is true in school code or other sorts of policy worlds, there's must, should, may, what's the other one? There's four of them. Must, should,
Shall.
shall, and may, yeah, maybe. Like, the is acceptable or is not acceptable, it should be, person must or person should. You know, staff members must, or staff members may, or staff members should, is the usual sort of phrasing of these things, but. Like just.
Can you just say students should be
acceptable.
encouraged to, students should be encouraged to communicate with their parents?
Yeah, this draft looks like it was created from an in-service.
Yeah.
Is why it looks like it's very,
Mhm.
like you're giving somebody training.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
Now,
Is that okay with that? Students should be encouraged to communicate with their parents?
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying, we're saying they should be doing it, because we're just, I think what the thing is you can, it's up to the discretion. Yeah, it's up to the discretion of
Staff.
personnel.
Should encourage students.
Students should be encouraged.
That's passive, it doesn't say who's doing it. You want it to be active, staff should encourage students.
I don't know, should they be in all the situations? That's what I think is kind of funny, because what this is saying is, it's okay to encourage. It's not saying you should or should not. It's saying it's acceptable to do that, right? And leaving it up to the counselor or whoever discretion, right? It's not that they should do it if it's not appropriate.
Well, then the language should be may.
Right.
May encourage.
Right. That's what I'm thinking. If we use should, then we're
Also fine.
directing, we're giving them the
There's a
suggestions.
fine line between encourage and coerce, because that says it's not acceptable to coerce, but coerce to me is almost synonymous with encourage.
No, I don't know, sure, it should say that.
Men.
As Mark said, it should say that.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah,
the
staff may
second
encourage.
clause should be,
Force.
staff must not.
Shall never, yeah, I know, we
It is
can
not
make,
acceptable to
Yeah.
pressure students.
Yeah.
Take out the coerce part, then.
Yeah,
I
Must
like
not or
coerce.
shall not.
yeah,
It's not acceptable to,
shall
not
not
pressure.
coerce or pressure.
But
Yeah.
shall not coerce or pressure.
Yeah. But staff shall.
Then you get pressure in that clause.
Thank you.
Yeah, but, right?
And, either way, either one works, yeah.
But or and works.
What do you just face that?
And then my final thought on this policy was,
We need to do C now.
We all have to do
Okay.
CCO, yeah.
Are we ready for?
So, yeah, so on C, staff shall not or
Mhm.
must not discourage or,
Yeah, shall not.
but,
Shall.
Mhm. Shall not.
I thought I was just gonna say.
yeah, that, you were the policy. It's like a-
Make it normal, energy, not all caps.
Yeah.
Not
Not discouraged, take acceptable out.
yeah,
take two acceptable to, right? Go back up to A. And combining and B should just, B should be the second sentence, second part of it, like we have in C.
That makes sense.
Oh, it does not have to be
No.
under. Okay. Sorry, Robert. Just want to get this in before we move on.
Sorry. I can go back. So we're back
It's
to.
a D.
okay, so the last thought was, just like, and I think, I'm not sure if it's covered in
Putting it at
the
the end. Don't make us
policies
careful.
here, but when we were doing the transgender stuff, wasn't that falling, would that fall under this policy as well in terms of sharing confidential information? Oh, I know we covered parts of it at one point in that policy when we were drafting it.
So we talked about this one at the time of that, right?
Yes.
So, so this includes, I mean,
Because I remember we had
yeah.
very similar language in regards to the reproductive stuff in relationship to that. And that's why I'm wondering, should it be part of this policy or is it governed under a different policy?
I think,
But it's not presently in there, that's the only reason
Well, no, I think transgender is its own policy. I do. I think this is talking about different things, because there's also like a pregnant students policy.
Mhm.
There's like, I mean,
But it's.
But you could reference it under B, is that what you're thinking? Where they list the other ones, substance abuse, child student abuse, suicide, self-harm, B. Up at the top.
This policy is really
Yeah,
about,
up too far.
this policy is about confidential communications from students which implicate health, safety, and welfare considerations.
Right there.
Right.
Substance abuse, child abuse, self-harm, see, those are the only spots.
That's why, maybe we should just retitle the policy. Confidential communication relative to health, welfare, and safety of students.
It's that argument,
That-
maybe perhaps bringing in such form of
Yeah.
contracts. But
Well,
it's like there's
yeah.
some overlap, at least in terms of the language that we originally had stated.
What benefit is there in narrowing the scope like that of Kendra suggested? Why not let it be broad to all confidential communications? Is there a risk of conflict between policies or something? Is there some reason not?
Well, yeah, for example, it's the reason we even have a policy is to give people guidance on when they can tell communications and when they can't.
Yeah.
And the only time they're ever going to be able to is if it's a health, safety, or welfare thing.
So bullying, transgender, pregnancy, well, pregnancy might fall under health.
But we have
Pregnancy is a
other-
little different
we
too,
have other-
because there's case law on pregnancy, so.
We have other reporting, we have reporting obligations on those other things. They all have their own, like, separate, like, complaint forms. So I guess my concern would be that people will use this policy for everything.
And you don't want
I'd rather they use the primary policy. Maybe we say that, this policy this policy and regulation are primarily directed towards confidential communications pertinent to students' physical health, safety, and welfare.
Do we have a scope section at the top where we can put something like that?
We do it. And then that way, we could, please refer to
Yeah.
Like other
other
purpose?
policies for
But-
specific topics.
But I get, okay.
I like that. Explicitly defining the scope of Brendan's document.
But when are other things confidential, I guess, right?
Well, we don't want somebody going in and saying, look, I understand that my friend is being bullied by this other kid.
Right.
And so, don't tell anybody I told you because I don't want to. Oh, here, I'll give you, actually, here's a very good example of what is a confidential communication, or what somebody wants to be a confidential communication. My social studies teacher is constantly, is yelling and swearing at us.
Yeah.
So they go tell an adult that, but please don't,
No.
or the parent reports it, or that their kid said it to them, and they don't want to get in trouble, they don't want retaliation, so that's the kind of confidence that's not this. That's just the one I can think of.
Yeah.
Where students say they want to say something, they don't want to contribute it to them. And they're not personally at risk for health, safety, or welfare, or either is anybody else. But they want to, say what a teacher's doing. Or a coach.
Right.
Our mental health specialists probably get this all the time. Or they went, talking about, I'm concerned that my friend or my brother is smoking cigarettes. Well, that would apply to this policy.
Good help, yeah.
We don't have a policy about what to do if your friend is smoking. We have a policy what to do if your friend's being bullied, or if your friend is encountering
issue. My friend is.
There's
Two are supposed to be defined already.
Yeah, this must have been taken from, because the examples that are given in this thing, I don't know. Seems like it's from a training program.
The cell phone is listed right
It is, it is.
Yeah, because I'm reading some of this, because I read this and I was like, we're giving examples?
Well, what's actually interesting, I went back to 253, which is our gender
Yeah.
expansive, and we actually don't give as much guideline there in regards to
Right,
the confidentiality and privacy there.
right.
And so that's where I thought whatever this policy
It
is.
should follow
that
this.
we're sharing.
7.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah, I mean, we've looked at this one, we've
That's
looked
right.
at this like 4 years.
Steve Gissner, guidance counselor, says, I believe I'm transgender, but please don't tell my parents.
Yeah. Does that fall into confidential communication?
Why would?
Hmm?
I don't know why it would.
Right. I mean, we know it has to, it's, certain things need to be disclosed, but would that be, I mean, so that would be confidential or not confidential? That would be
That would be
confidential,
treated
right?
the same way as reproductive rights.
Yeah, that's where it triggered that.
Right.
In regards to this. But it's not expressed explicitly in the policy, and that's why.
I think we should, yeah. I mean, I think this is the one that's kind of the more encompassing one of everything. and
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I think, yeah, because I'm like, I don't think we put anything in transgender there.
We did, so we.
Because it was referring this, it like, follow this policy instead.
And so what I think we should do is we should shore up this policy and then at some point revisit
Cross-
253
yeah,
and cross-reference and say
cross-references.
when the child expresses this desire, it falls under
Sure,
the
policy.
confidentiality policy.
Yeah, I agree.
Which is what we insinuated when we were
Which
talking
we
about-
intended,
Yeah, but we never really brought it together.
Okay.
Just wouldn't be Roman numeral number 4 there under self-harming, and you put policy 253.
Well, but these are the guidelines for that, right? So instead it,
Just including it now.
The policy to, whatever the LGBT policy
Right.
doesn't have that.
shall, right, it doesn't have guidelines for this. So instead of that, we're directing 253 or whatever to here,
Yeah.
All right, so let's
instead of
go
us
back.
directing this to there.
We can shore this up. This is going to be a second reading, right?
This is
Yes.
just the AR.
This is the AR.
Oh, okay, so we can
You can
shore
change
this
whatever
up
you
and
want.
include scope. Tie in with transgender. It would be transgender, also be sexual orientation.
Yeah, exactly. Could be a lot of things.
Bullying, harassment. Okay, all right.
Yeah, there's a lot of things, yeah.
So this one coming back.
Just the
Do
AR.
you want to do a repeat first read so that you don't pass a policy that doesn't have?
Yeah, let's do that.
On 207, right?
So, right. Well, don't we want, yeah, yeah.
We're going to do 144 later, right? Is that what we're-
Yeah, the AR, yeah.
Yeah.
So on April 9th, I think it is, we're doing repeat first reading
Yeah.
of P207.
423 is our next policy meeting. Yeah, 423. Get everything on the calendar correctly. All right, so first reading, or repeated first reading, and bring AR back to 423. All right. Two 11? You said 211 was, no. It's 211 fine, got it.
Yes, that was ready for second reading, that was the
I'm good.
AR, right?
The AR is new.
Yeah.
I'm fine on both.
Are you fine
I
with
do have
it
a
too?
question.
Okay. On
Is
the
there,
AR?
is there a reason why we specify football versus sport and intramural sport?
Yes.
Okay,
Yes,
sorry.
that's right,
It's
yeah.
actually in school code.
Yes, we have to do it,
My
yeah.
apologies.
That's, we had the same question and the answer is yes, there's a reason.
Well, I wasn't there, so.
Exactly, that's, and so there
We
it
can
is,
move
we have to,
forward.
yeah. And we had, we came with the same thing, all right, 225.
Okay.
I have just one sort of broad question on policy 205.
Okay,
But I think I answered it when we were talking about the earlier one. At first, it didn't seem to belong even in the 200s. The last paragraph under guidelines is what prompted me to think that. If we want to, oops, I just closed my window. Sorry. Yeah, district employees shall not interfere with a law enforcement official in the performance of his duties, which sounded like something that belongs in a different section than the 200s. But the one we just did also had all, it was in the 200s and also
Yeah.
had all kinds of stuff for staff.
all right,
So maybe that's not relevant, but that, I just had that thought, that was in my notes. Am I correct that it's fine to have something in the 200s that's really a directive for staff?
There are, there are policies about students. 225 is filled with policies with directives to staffs. And I even having said that, I could justify putting this in the 800s just as easily as the 200s. I think it's fine either place. This is just how the spirit PSV put it.
yeah.
If I was creating this from scratch, I'd probably a good chance I would have stuck it in the 800s. I don't know if it matters so much.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's kind of nice to keep it as, it's kind of sort of consistent with PSBA.
okay.
All right. That's 225.
That's P 225.
All right, now let's go to AR 225.
Everybody for second reading.
Yeah,
So in AR,
225.
under, well, where it's talking about, let me find the section, it's talking about calls for 911.
Third paragraph.
Thank you. That's policy, AR. Yeah, so this is talking about the MOU with Upper Dublin Police.
Yeah.
What about a field trip or school trip that, where your 911 location is outside Montgomery or Eastern Montgomery County, therefore you get a different call center and it's not relevant to the Upper Dublin Police? So if Upper Dublin Police are not the first responders, does all of this apply? Can it? It doesn't seem like it can because we don't have an MOU with them.
Who would be the first,
Procedure.
who would be the first responders if it's not Upper Dublin Police?
So say we're at Pennsbury Mansion or something, we had on a field trip, and there's an accident, and so we have to call 911.
We just had a training with the police service. They said, identify your county as soon as you call 911. First thing, one of the first things you say is the county.
Oh,
where
They're gonna
it's
ask
being
you
placed.
questions. Yeah. They're gonna ask you a township you're in. That's the first question that anyone asks you.
We don't have an MOU with anybody else. So
Right.
No.
it does, we can't apply these guidelines to anybody else.
But you still would call 911.
You obviously call 911.
Right.
It's just the first responder is only going to be Upper Dublin if
It's in.
you're in Upper Dublin.
Yeah, so
And so, so it says that the guidelines contained in the MOU apply to everything that takes place on school vehicles, school trips, and school-sponsored activities, but not all of those things happen in places where the MOU can apply.
So I think it's the ones that do, right? I mean, that's what makes sense to me. Like a school trip like Robbins Park,
Yeah,
right?
clearly then it applies.
Clearly it applies. So I think that put something, they didn't upper Dublin, I
We
mean,
can
it's
just add we can just add something, the school-sponsored activities to the extent
yeah, that they're
the extent Upper Dublin Police have
jurisdiction, there we go, yeah,
Yeah, that makes sense.
that makes sense. Because if we're over in Falls, we want the Falls Township Police Department to
Yes.
respond, not
Right, we
the
don't want to wait for
Police
them to get there.
So what I was thinking was, and I had the same question actually,
So
was,
to the extent that Upper Dublin Police have jurisdiction.
Right here?
At the, yeah, at the end of it, yeah.
couldn't we also state, I think in the first line of this AR, something along the lines of the district will remain in cooperation with local, state, local, county, whatever, law enforcement agencies, whatever, to that extent, so it's covering, and then seek to clarify within the specifics of the MOU with Upper Dublin Police Department.
Here in the AR or the policy?
Well, it's stated in the policy in the sense of what we're saying, that so the first line of the policy says the board is committed to maintain a positive relationship with law enforcement agencies. That's broad, right? Over, and then it said jurisdiction over the districts. But there's kind of those overlapping layers, right, to one extent.
Well, the VA and the FBI and the
Exactly, so
all have jurisdiction.
in the, no, that's what I'm saying. So in the first line of the AR, we just add, it's just a simple statement before you specify its specific relationship with UDPD. I don't know if it's necessary.
We say it under, I'm not clear, we say it under the delegation of responsibility. We cooperate with everybody, but we have a MOU with the local law enforcement issue. I wouldn't even say local, I would say township law enforcement, or Dublin Township.
And where I thought was missing is in the AR, there's none of that language. The AR specifically focuses on relationship to UDPD.
But there isn't any,
There's not, and
there's no other procedures that go with anything other than Upper Dublin Police. We can't. We've learned through our sharing as other districts have, that you can put whatever you want to in a procedure. But if it's not in an MOU with your local police department, they can care less what you say. We will come in, do what we want, when what we want. And
Right.
so unless you wanted to put in some sort of, civil disobedience with ICE or something like that, there's really nothing to put it away. There's other than you have to cooperate.
You know? Yeah.
It's not necessary, it's just.
No, you haven't put in what he said,
No.
ice.
Maybe that's pretty much a future meeting.
All right, Bob. Your problem
Blue, is
discussing that
that
here.
makes sense? Second paragraph.
Yes.
Civil disobedience with ICE, all right. Have you done that with the other school districts? The civil
The
disobedience?
conversation about that lasted about as long as the conversation here just lasted.
All right, well, I'm saying we should have a conversation about it, but I didn't know if you had anything that you had,
No, I have.
Yeah.
In a couple places, and the conversation lasted exactly as long as it lasted here.
all right.
Those
Fine.
are the two, next to you, the two probably most likely districts to actually have something.
Yes, so, all right. That's what I was wondering if any districts around us have anything. I think a couple probably do.
They have procedures that we tell our staff.
Right,
We'll say to them, if ICE shows up, here's what you do.
right.
But they're not board policies on.
They're not, are they in the ARs?
No,
No,
no, it's just, this is what you do if ICE shows up.
okay. All right,
It's not a big issue around here.
no, it's not.
Yeah,
But if it happened once, it would be a big issue, so,
Yeah, it
yeah.
would be a big issue.
Yes, we're ready. I'm ready.
Okay.
Okay, we're done. It was what, 2:25?
We're on to review section.
Yay. All right.
Yeah.
So now the first thing's the
Do you have
AR.
anything on 239 or
I do actually.
Okay.
Oh.
We kind of live,
Sorry.
All right, what is it, guys?
239, I do feel like the guy, so I'm not sure if we're going to create an AR, but I feel like the guidelines should fall under an AR. And then on the guidelines, the very specific one I have a question for is in regards to where we specify that they need to speak English.
Yes.
Is there any metric for that? Like, are we saying a proficiency exam, or is it just subjective to that degree?
Probably subjective, because we've had specific problems with this, which is
Yeah.
why it's been, but I don't think we're not, there's no desire to require any sort of test or anything like that.
Okay.
Just if they get here, then it's like, you should be able to talk.
I'm wondering if that's a good.
Right.
And my other question, I guess, is just in regards to the visas. What if in the case that a visa is expired or revoked,
Mhm.
do we have any guidelines in place for that? Because I didn't see it in.
Ken just wanted to bring that topic up a moment ago. In a different form.
Okay.
I'm sorry, I was,
My question was in regards to the student exchange program. If the visa is expired or revoked, the F1 visa, is there any? Do we need to provide any guidelines in regards to that as well? So one, my general question is, should the guidelines fall under an AR, because it seems more like it's an AR language anyway.
do we have any records?
We don't, no.
That's what I'm saying, it's just maybe transported over.
Okay, so AR to cover what if the visas, what if the visas lapse?
Is that the only, I mean, a bunch of these other things could be AR language too.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying, to move the guidelines into the AR.
Actually, no, well, okay.
That one on English seems like it's an AR question, but we're telling the administration how to,
Yeah, that is policy.
that's policy.
Yeah, that's policy, okay. You're establishing criteria for. You can do this either way. You can say the administration shall, compile or establish administrative regulations, regarding foreign exchange students, period, and then this all goes in AR. You can do that. These just seem to be kind of policy-driven exceptions. I could argue either way. Like 5, yes, 5 is clearly, it could go into an AR. But you might, some words might take, exception to their administration. Imposing an English only restriction that wasn't board, that wasn't board approved. So that's why they have to get to the policy.
Michelle, is it possible to get some form of an English proficiency exam in place for these stats?
That's what we go with AR, by the way.
Yeah.
Testing, verifying that they can speak English in the classrooms. That would be, if you were to say, somebody must be able to do this score on this test or whatever, that would go with AR. Because that's implementing this.
That sounds pretty tough, but it's going to depend on, well, there's always
Right.
I think it's difficult, but the way I read it, it just seemed hard to also say that it's just kind of arbitrarily determined at the same time.
We can talk about it.
Yeah, I would know what that test would be. And also, I know that Donna Board had expressed a concern, like, since July 1 is when the decisions have to be made for the following year. And just the timing of application, board approval, students coming,
Yeah, so we
Oh, yeah.
move forward with this
made it very
policy.
difficult.
Move forward with this policy
change
and
the
come up
date.
with an AR that talks about what to do when they lapse, what metrics we'll use for this English speaking test.
Right?
and maybe the date. So
Yeah,
the
what's,
date out here.
does Donna have a better date?
No, the date is fine. I just,
What date?
we'll have
At
to, we'll
the end
have
of,
to determine what that
at the end
rate
of,
looks like as far
let's
as.
see.
If there's a certain English
Sorry, the end
proficiency
of
test,
responsibility.
they're taking the English proficiency test
In their home country?
in their home countries, then they would have to have access to it.
And have to submit it
So
to
it has
us.
to be an exact certain one. It's just
Administered
whatever-
according to the instructions, et cetera, which might
But
be
if
hard
they're
to
from a
find.
different country, they're gonna have,
Yeah.
it's just gonna limit
This seems-
folks'
this seems
ability to
hard
apply.
Yeah.
I think you're gonna have a pool that's gonna be much less.
So we want this policy to apply now, or we got?
I like the policy, and I went over with Don Schultz, with Don Ward,
Yeah.
we have gone over this. I think the way it is appropriate and helpful,
Okay.
because it's defined more so in the guidelines than it had been before. Also distinguishes that you're not getting a diploma, you're getting a certificate of completion. There's just so much to this that we need, so I hate to have to put it off.
Yeah.
If you want to go back
No,
and look at AR.
No,
We're not
yeah,
talking
yeah,
about
we
that
can
now. We're talking about.
I like it.
We're talking about letting the policy move forward as is.
Right,
Creating an AR to help in the future.
Yeah,
we could have an AR for discussion. Like I said, I would like to.
Yeah, we need that.
Would happen.
right.
So we don't need to
So-
change the policy at all. And you
It's
want,
not
so you want to
gonna
keep the date in?
Yes, that was the question. Do we want to keep July 1 in?
Yes.
Okay.
Sure. sorry.
Under delegation of
Their responsibility, it's when they have to apply by.
Okay, all right. So that doesn't change.
I'm only accepting, I think, two, was it two or three?
It's very minor issues, where there's some spacing issues in those bullets, so there's spaces between some of them, and spaces between other ones.
All right.
Or just, I'm just trying to find again, it was, said that we're only going to take 2 students.
Yes, at the top. All right,
So,
all right.
this will be small. Under the revenue section, I'm wondering, when we say for educational purposes, is that necessary? Because it doesn't seem to make sense. I think we outsource or we rent school district property, let's say for example the PAC, that aren't deemed necessary for educational purposes. So I would just move that we strike for
Where-
educational
where-
purposes. Under
Oh,
revenues and
revenues
school
for-
property,
District property.
that first paragraph.
Oh, so we've moved on.
Must be used, yes, yes, we're at 708.
Okay.
Policy 708.
This is policy 7.
May be
yes.
used by outside organizations
This is,
or
this
outside
is language from the
individuals
old policy that we,
for educational
yeah,
purposes.
because this is from,
I just think we should strike that because that's not
this is
the practice.
2005 language.
Because we don't limit it to educational
Yeah,
purposes.
that's what I'm saying. It doesn't seem like we do.
Well, we have like dance recitals.
Exactly. I mean, you could argue that's for education, but I just don't think it's necessary.
Right.
Yeah, each
Well,
one of
you
you
should
shall be
realize-
evaluated.
It may be used for
Yeah,
educational
I just
purposes.
think
We're
it's-
not limiting ourselves, I guess, to educational purposes.
I think we should
I agree,
strike
yeah, I
that.
think you can drop for educational purposes, you know, seeing if it's clarified in the next
So
paragraph.
just
that
take,
We still have the authority to,
Do
consider
we,
and approve.
we don't consider and approve them all.
Well, we effectively do, because, I mean, in practice, they fill out a form, which category 1 through 4 they are is
Yeah.
determined by SUO, and then
Is it submitted to the board for consideration and
the
approval?
board does it.
That's what it says. It
Yeah.
says each proposed
Yeah.
shall be evaluated by the administration and submitted to the board
Oh.
for consideration and approval.
Yeah.
I'm like, that doesn't
No,
happen.
you're right.
Yeah,
Okay, I'm sorry.
sorry.
What is our objection, why are we saying don't use it for educational purposes? You talk.
We don't
These are
limit it
for
to that.
outside
So
usage.
when we let the Upper Dublin
The local
Ballet
space.
Society
Right.
use our
Dance
facilities, and they
Mhm.
say, can we borrow your
Props.
Can we
They
rent
rent.
your props or something?
Oh, props, yeah.
And we say, sure, as long as it's being used for educational purposes, and we're saying we don't do that.
What we're saying, we don't limit it to, yeah, we don't make it for educational
When,
purposes. We rent
when
them.
an organization rents the PAC, they also have access to risers and all the other equipment that is, you know, part of that rental purpose. Not everyone does it that way, but we do. When we rent, I think you get every, who's we? Upper Dublin.
The district.
When we, those districts, when we rent the space, we rent all the stuff too. And, not everyone does it that way. Some people rent the space and you don't get to use all of our stuff.
Correct.
Music stands, chairs, whatever.
Yeah.
you know.
Mhm.
So, so it's not just about the space, it's also about the stuff.
Right.
Yeah.
So the space is covered by different policy.
Yeah.
The space is facilities. We're talking about personal property now.
Yeah, this is district property.
It's not real property there. It's not,
Mhm. It's not the fun.
we should, maybe there should be district
No, it
equipment
is.
and books,
It is.
collectively district property, very
It
first
is,
sentence.
yeah. Our purchase room. Yeah, I guess district property is defined collectively.
First sentence of the policy.
Yes.
This has nothing to do with the
Facilities, you're right.
So then for educational purposes.
But still, we do allow them to use this kind of property for non-educational purposes. When we rent the space, we also give them use of the stuff.
But maybe, I don't know, or maybe, and as you say, not everybody does that.
Yeah.
I think we put that in there because what
One has already
What
paid.
ability does the school district really have to lend its equipment to an outside organization when they're not advancing an educational purpose? What's our authority to do that under law in the
Yeah, we
first
shouldn't be
place?
doing that.
So we should.
How would you
But
like?
that's
to
within the
use-
facility. I think that's different. So when someone's running our facility, this is like, hey, we want to have your books. Like, it's like North Hills or something like that. This is what we're talking about. This isn't really covering the music stands that are within the pack when we rent the pack out. You know what I mean?
Why isn't it?
Maybe
I
it could
maybe
be
not intended to,
interpreted
but I
that
think it
way,
does.
but
You're only
This
talking
is-
curricular material, well, even that's.
It's not
curricular
even-
material.
it's,
For example, we're not gonna lend out our snow blowers or our grass, whatever, or tractors, that cut grass. We're not letting that stuff out. There would be nothing here that would let us do that. But if we had an outside organization that was, already, the revenues from school property. Sounds like we're renting it.
yeah.
Yeah.
Board support.
How about if we say, in accordance
Shall not
with
be
the, we have
loaned.
regulations.
The board directs that the property shall not be loaned for non-school use off district premises.
I had some other ones I actually took out.
Is there any other business possible?
No,
I don't think so.
no.
I just noticed this one typo, or correction to if you can make it quick.
Well, what's our standards for, we should have an area that the government has some standards for when we would ever lend our property to somebody.
Right.
No, we have access to district facilities and building security. Okay.
Well, what does 707 say about other equipment beyond the space itself? Does it say anything? It's up there, yeah.
But we don't have that for educational purposes.
I don't think we rent our property. I don't know why we even have a section on revenues from school property.
I know, do we even do this? When do we rent out?
Well, like in the summertime, they have summer programs by the township, and everybody uses some of the buildings.
Yeah, well, we have a-
That's
That's
buildings.
That's the equipment sharing agreement between the city itself
But
and the
no,
township.
we're looking at the buildings here, the school facilities.
Oh.
So they're in Jaredtown. They're-
Well, I want to look at this,
We're watching.
like,
This
for
is
instance,
like other
also where,
stuff.
you know, and outside, you know, the ballet company or whatever, you know, this is.
Yeah, this is other stuff. This is-
Yeah, I think, I would suggest going back and finding out, if we don't rent our personal property, and I don't think we do, we should take out that whole, everything in guidelines. We
Right.
should take out that revenues from school property in the paragraph immediately following it, plus the rental fee thing,
Mhm.
plus the lease thing. If we don't do that, we should take out the last four paragraphs.
Right,
The whole revenues.
yeah, but I think
Or
So
put it
we
in
want to
follow.
pass this policy because I think we're having an issue, which is why there's that new paragraph in there, right? Wasn't there a specific
Yeah,
reason for
but I
this?
think there's,
Okay.
that's not, because I mean, that's an addition that needs to be addressed. I
Okay.
think that can be handled case by case for now. I don't
Okay.
think we need to rush our policy. through.
Okay.
And,
All right, so we'll pull
handle
708.
it case by case basis for now. So,
That's why I don't see these meetings.
So what's our status?
so the one meeting Brenda doesn't sit through.
I know.
We actually need her for.
I know,
I could-
I
So
know.
are we bringing
Bring it back.
She's watching these, so she could probably. No, we need to call.
All right, we'll bring 708 back to policy.
We'll have a lot more questions for.
Brooke, just in case, can you just change that revenues from school property to district property? Because that's.
Yes, yeah, we need to, this needs to be rewritten. It
Yeah.
looks like it's from 2003.
All right, we're good.
It doesn't apply anymore.
Now we can move to review.
Doesn't apply.
All right, now AR 144.
We also, when it comes back, have to go back to 610
Yeah,
Who is Brenda coming to?
no, this next meeting.
next time.
She's not here. Take her part, please.
Yeah, you could, she said it's 10.
So, we have to.
So I have a couple things on this. First is the language on the free and reduced lunch doesn't line up with the policy, so we can make those be in line. That would be good. Does that make sense? So just that free and reduced lunch criteria should be stated in the policy in the same exact way, which it's not. Actually, and on that phone. So just the way we quoted, we quoted here in the AR's free and reduced lunch criteria. In the policy, we state free and reduced price meals. And so I know it's something, but
Okay.
you might as well make it the same. The other thing is, the phrase where we say this policy is not intended to inhibit building principals from accessing non-district financial resources, including the PTOs. None of that's covered in the, so that's stated in the policy, but we give no guidelines under the AR, which I think we should include something to that extent. And I know that's actually a big question that comes from PTOs as well, so it'd be good for us.
Wait, I think maybe I misunderstood what you said, but in the second to last paragraph, it says, the principal shall explore, the AR,
Mhm.
the principal shall explore all possible resources, including, such resources might include HSA funds, et cetera, which is.
Can we change HSA? Because do we
Yeah,
ever talk?
We never use that.
We never use that phrase here.
But,
So it should be PTAs.
so it says you shall explore, it's not, is that, do you want more formal criteria than that? Or
Well, no, maybe I didn't understand what HSA was.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, homeschool association,
Homeschool
homeschool
association.
association, PTAs,
I
PTOs.
see, okay.
Yeah.
But, right.
I was
We
missing
don't
the
want
parent
to use that.
organizations in
Right.
here, that's all, I didn't see it in the
Okay.
AR, but I can see it is there in different language.
Okay.
So we're changing free and reduced to free and reduced price meals?
Whichever one it is, we should be consistent.
Is there a formal
Probably
Pennsylvania
meals.
term for that?
Let's be federal.
Federal?
We have a, other policies.
Price meals, free and reduced
Price meals?
price school meals, that's what I'm looking
Okay.
at.
And that's what will come.
Free or reduced or free and
And.
reduced?
Free and reduced price.
So whatever one you were just editing, Brooke, said or, not and.
That's it.
Did you change up? Yeah, you did.
Changing the policy to that. That's just not substantive.
The only one I have here is that the last
Is there
paragraph.
attachment A?
Exactly.
I know. Where's attachment A? Never really seen it.
Oh, is that the
That's
free
what
and
we talked
reduced?
about earlier.
Yes, that's in here. All right, good. All right.
We
We
use,
have it, right?
we do, but Kristen Daly said that they use an online form. So we
Okay.
can attach the form
Yes.
in there.
Perfect.
There is a paper form available. She said over the past 3 years, she's
You
only
use
had
that
maybe
too.
2 or
Well,
3.
if they're on
We
the
can have
internet
both-
looking
we can
at it,
have
they'll
the
have
link
both.
to it, a link to the online.
Link to it,
form.
Yeah.
yeah.
So, yeah,
Um,
and then the very last line says child's free and reduced lunch eligibility. So it should be free and reduced price meal.
And it should be student,
No, because it's their child, because it's talking
oh,
about,
their child. yes.
yeah, the parent guardian.
Free and reduced, for what was the term?
Reduced price
Price, lunch.
or meal.
Meals, because it could be started.
Yeah.
Meals.
So it's like attachment A, should you say link?
Oh, we can put that
Yeah.
in, yeah. Okay, so we'll add those links. Okay, great. Any other changes, team?
That's an AR seconds.
That go for approval. What was that? Someone goes here. All right. Tobacco use. So this is not a big one. This is just
I have
making them consistent.
a question.
Okay.
Is the intent to ban e-cigarettes used for non-tobacco products as well, or is this only when e-cigarettes are used for tobacco products?
My exact question.
I think when we originally said it, it was for all products. So yes, it encompasses more than just tobacco, even though we're calling it tobacco. So
So
maybe the smoking related products or whatever.
Tobacco and e-cigarettes. cigarettes or whatever.
We say.
And smoking related.
We say any form of electronic cigarette.
Yeah, but, so
But it's under tobacco.
unfortunately,
I know.
Well, then we should change tobacco to smoking products.
Yes.
We did that. I thought we did that.
So just call it smoking products or tobacco and other smoking products use?
well, we need to
Yeah.
we need to answer that question, but there's more to it than that.
Okay.
I know.
The policy is going to be called smoking products, it's not going to be called tobacco.
So the main policy that we have is 222, which is use of tobacco and smoking-related products. That's the main
Okay,
policy.
so
When
let's
we
stick with
when we updated that one, we didn't update the ones in the employee groups. This is 323, whatever it is, yeah, the 3, 4, and 5. So that's what literally took the information from 222, our major tobacco and smoking-related products policy, and put it in here, but we needed to update the title.
So the title should be the same as it is.
Tobacco and smoking-related products.
Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem with smoking-related product as a term.
Yes,
Smokeless tobacco, chewing tobacco.
vaping, yeah. Well, that's what's tobacco and,
Oh, tobacco and smoking-related product, okay, yes.
there you
sorry.
go.
Yeah, all right.
Is smoking related?
Yeah.
222.
And then, so under,
Seasoning.
there's gonna be a bunch of things we need to change, because like under authority, it says the board prohibits tobacco use.
Well, we do prohibit tobacco use.
It's not all
Well, it should be-
encompassing.
And-
Under guidelines,
And-
it says notify employees about the district's tobacco use policy. So there's gonna be a bunch of changes, and I don't know if we wanna go through all of them.
Yeah,
right
well,
now.
this needs to be.
All three of those, yeah.
But
just
we're
one.
increasing
Yeah,
the
it's all the
scope to
same.
include all this.
I know.
All right.
I can take care of it.
Yeah,
We'll work together to.
Yeah, that's easy,
and that applies to all three.
right.
All right, I'm done with that one. Rob's turn.
No, that's the same question. I literally had the same question, so. It's good stuff.
Go back to the agenda, that was nice. Okay,
51?
yes, so 251, homeless students.
Hang on.
I just have a general
Don't believe
question.
you.
I just have a general question. Is there a distinction between children and youth, and is it defined?
I don't think so.
The tobacco.
Where-
Is that
where
on
is
the
it?
ready for first
Youth,
reading?
just
Okay.
use the word youth, and 8, and then after that, unaccompanied homeless youth.
There is a, yes,
So I was just wondering.
unaccompanied homeless youth is a term of art.
Yeah.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure that we're using it
Yeah,
right.
that is a term of art.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's defined actually. Few sentences down.
Should it be defined a few sentences up?
Could be. You could put the definitions right after purpose.
Where is the second?
There's the
Oh,
definitions.
There's the
Or
definition.
you could put the definitions.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay, but then you're just putting one definition in front of another. And then homeless then becomes, it gets circular. So yeah, it's all in the definition section. It's okay to use a word, define it later, as long as you're doing it all within the same glossary.
Right, that makes sense.
Okay.
All right, that's the
In other words,
policy.
it's already in the definition section.
Yeah.
You can't see it from there, but it's bolded.
Okay. So policy in error. Okay.
We really need to look at the AR.
Yeah, are we looking at the error? That's what I'm looking at.
Sure, I can move it.
Okay.
My quick note is just, there's a hyperlink in here. If we could just put it as a hyperlink instead of the actual URL,
Yeah, that'd be good.
that would be good. And then my other question is just, we list some of these applications and,
Right here.
yeah.
Sure.
And so we list some of these applications in different languages, and I've been talking with Phil about this in terms of our website accessibility as well.
Yes.
But I'm wondering if just, is there a way to, I guess I'm cautious about saying we're going to put it in English and Spanish
Yeah.
versus,
That was what the state provided when we had our audit, that's the only one they had.
Okay. So there's no other translations though?
It's the one, no?
Interesting. Is there a criteria for a district in regards to that form of accessibility in terms of languages?
Yeah.
I imagine there is, but I don't know what it is.
I can write to our
I guess it's
PE
Michelle.
representative and say, can you, when will other languages be provided?
Oh, they don't provide it to us.
Yes, we just had our audit, and she's,
Should be able to
the
translate.
dispute letter, all of this came from
Let's
her.
go.
And all she had was the Spanish.
Okay, so that's,
And I can write to her and say, will you be happy?
In any other
Provided in any
languages,
other
or is
language.
it translatable? Yeah. I don't know.
You think there'd be a Google application for that? Isn't there something where they can just translate?
Yeah, but it's not
Well,
gonna
it's
be
not,
perfect.
yeah, it's
It's
not
not very
very
accurate.
legally.
No.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
if there is one that can do that, then that person should retire wealthy. I mean,
Yes.
that would be pretty incredible.
All right. Are we good with 251? Policy and AR, yes. All right, then we're going to do a first reading on 4.9. Okay. Pregnant students.
I have something on this one.
All right, so we'll start with the policy.
The very first section under purpose, right at the top, says solely because of marriage, pregnancy, etc. Marriage is never mentioned again here or in the AR. Or in fact,
Yeah, I don't know why we need married in there. Yeah, I agree. Student who's eligible to attend district school and pregnant. Yeah, we don't need marriage in there.
Yeah, especially sort of linking it to ourselves.
The policy has nothing to do with married students. it's just
No.
pregnancy. It's not in the right either.
and also the next plot right below the AR.
Yeah. Married student.
What's that?
We've ever had married student. I'll leave it.
I have a question in regards to the pronoun usage where we say her. Because again, thinking of our current state, just as to be rewarded to say that such activity. So where is it? From the student's position, the sentence that says from the student's position indicating that such activity will not be injurious to her health nor jeopardize her pregnancy. Just simply worded to be that such activity will be injurious to the student's health nor jeopardize the pregnancy.
That's a good idea.
I think it's much safer to do so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So right there will be injurious to the student's health instead of her. And then nor jeopardize the pregnancy. And then it's in the AR as well.
Yeah.
You just want to replace all the pronouns with student or,
Yeah.
Yep.
okay,
Good.
I count 4. Oh, we're on the second page.
Yeah, 4 in the AR. And then there's
Yeah,
2
it is.
Yeah.
With more-
The students or
The students.
With the pregnancy is good enough.
with the,
Yeah.
There's 5 in there.
Yeah. There's a good place.
Right, we get right there.
Yeah.
The-
Yep. That, the student, again?
Yeah.
Didn't seem like enough, but Ken said there were 5 of them, so I'm not sure.
A lot there. I was looking for
They're the first sentence,
the
the
sentence.
first sentence, there's 3 in the third sentence, the third paragraph.
How many first sentence? 1, 2, 3, we got those 3.
Okay, so there's one on the,
Absence.
when a student requires a leave.
Yeah,
Keep going
the
now.
absence. is-
Keep going now.
There.
Third is line.
A note from her.
That the student got, they're from the, yeah.
Adopt.
And we want to take the students now.
Note from a student?
The students, we would want this.
From random filter.
Yeah.
You broke your representing administration.
What?
Ah.
All right, now we can do anything.
And we're actually almost done.
I know, all sorts of stuff now. All right. All right. The last thing is 254.
So first,
Recruitment. Yeah, we were talking about this. It's a new policy.
This is basically
That's what we need to have.
creating a policy to implement a legislative
Right.
directive, obligation, whatever. We don't have much.
We don't have much to say in this one.
Yeah, so I have nothing in the policy. In the AR, I have a couple of things. Under the first paragraph, where we say parental, we should add /
Guardian.
guardian consent. The one thing I kind of at least pointed out was, we say a single notice, under the second paragraph midway through, a single notice provided through mailing. I don't know, it just seems a little weird. We're saying, just give you one notice, it's fine, but, because we're gonna, in practice, do more than that. So I'm wondering if
Maybe,
we
yeah,
want that per se to do.
at least.
And then,
Well, it's just a single notice is sufficient to satisfy the required notification provision.
just,
Um,
Do we want more than one notice? I mean, that's what we get to
Yeah.
decide.
Well, a single notice is sufficient. I don't see a problem with saying that.
At least one notice. Yeah.
it's fine, it just at least caught me by
Yeah.
notice, that's all, when I was reading through it. And then the only other thing is, under the AR, we don't, so in the policy, we mentioned employers, it's actually not part of the title, but we never mention employers in the AR at all. Because I didn't see it.
Yeah, it's in the second to last paragraph.
But do we want to add any more guidelines to that besides? Because otherwise, all the stuff above that is just
Mostly
dealing with
force.
institutions and
Military.
recruiters.
Yeah, I mean, that's what this is about.
Well, presumably if the recruiters had access to this stuff, then a subsequent employment would also inherently have access to the stuff, because that's, recruitment happens before employment.
Okay, well, I guess maybe what I'm looking for is, maybe in that first paragraph, we just write what we've done in previous policy, which post-secondary institutions, military recruiters, and prospective employers shall have access. It just seemed missing.
That's fine. It doesn't, I don't see any reason not to do that.
And then the one thing that I think we should add under the AR is procedures on how to opt out,
Yeah.
which isn't given. We stated in the policy that they can opt out, otherwise they're going to be presumed to be opted in, but then we should also state how they should opt out.
We should give them an
Some
ability to
guideline
opt
to
out.
everything.
Yeah.
Yes, good point.
Is there like a form that should be attached?
Probably.
Yeah, we,
Yeah.
yeah, we have,
You have something?
yeah.
Okay.
All right, so
You need the, you want to bring the AR back with an opt-out process and a form?
Yeah.
Anything else? Yeah.
We don't have to bring it back.
Well, it doesn't matter, it's coming back anyway,
Right,
because
right,
we're
it's
not,
not-
it's not a first
it's
read,
not
it's
first
just
reading,
for
yeah.
first read anyway.
Okay,
So we can look at the
but we're
form.
ready for first reading for
Yeah.
the policy.
Plus, I did something extra we could do, you're out to get it.
I know. It's true, it's nice, isn't it?
Let them be done early. You're gonna get your 5 minutes fulfilled.
There you go, we do what we can. Is there anything else? Oh, we would, 709, I don't think we have, it's not in, it's just our regular, it's not under the draft. I think that we need, attachments, I didn't see the attachments on here.
709?
What's 709?
Is it 709?
Building security?
Building security.
708?
709.
What are we, where are you?
In the AR,
Oh,
or, no, is it, yeah, this is the AR, it says C attachment A, B, and C, and D. We don't have any
This
attachments.
isn't on the agenda.
This is not on the agenda,
Oh.
I came across it and I noticed that we didn't have any of the attachments on there, so. FYI, yeah, if we can put the attachments on 709,
yes.
that would be good. That's all. All right, we're done.
We got through
We're
rules
done,
right up
yeah,
there?
so,
Sorry, did you have something?
yes,
No, I was
I
just-
think, I'm waiting to, we don't have any community members here other than Mr. Trantis, and I don't believe he would like to speak today, so.
Not today.
Okay, so we have no
I
community.
reserve my rights.
Thank you.
Another day.
So we have no community input today. Our next policy meeting is, I think I said it a bunch of times today, the 23rd of April here. Other than that, we're adjourned for today. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.